Okay, so before we got one more question here. This one, you and I had talked about it, but someone had mentioned who is Ogun similar to in Kemetic beliefs. Ogun, of course, comes from the Yoruba beliefs, which we typically associate with West Africa. And what he is, let me see if I can find a picture of him here, so people can know what we're talking about. Because he's a very powerful picture. He's a very powerful figure in their belief system as well. And he's represented. Now, what does it mean that he's represented as iron?
Um, because because you're talking about um, creating weaponry for their nations.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Because so when you are the weapons maker and you're creating weapons for others,
Right.
we need weapons to be fighting every day.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a constant, right? A constant thing. It's not like you can create a weapon and you put that down. Sometimes that weapon is going to be utilized on a regular basis. So each and every one of those weapons specifies, or at least it, how can I put it, explains who that person's character is by the weapon he makes for them.
Right.
It's kind of like Hephaestus, who makes the weapons for Wonder Woman.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So her mentality is circled around all those weapons that's made for her.
Right.
Okay. Nubia's is different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Nubia's weapon, okay, is different than Diana's. Because
Right.
Diana doesn't carry around the sword
Uh-huh.
of Ares.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be Nubia.
Yeah. There she is right there.
There you go.
Yeah.
So she has this armor-making weaponry that's created by Hephaestus for this reason, because she's trained by Ares.
Right.
Ares is a Greek form of Muntu.
Ares is a Greek form of Muntu.
That's correct.
Okay.
So she's like being trained by Muntu.
Right.
This is all about warring.
Yeah.
It's not right, but the weapons are made for her for that purpose.
Right. Exactly.
Diana's purpose is completely different. She's not made for that as Nubia is. So
Right.
this is why it's very specified for those reasons.
Yeah.
So you must understand. So that's his whole entire goal and purpose.
Okay.
Ogun.
Okay.
Uganu.
Okay. Oganu is how they would
Yep.
say it. Okay. Thank you for that. Okay. Now, you had mentioned that as far as, well, actually, that's the question. The similarity to someone in Kemet, you would say Ptah.
Correct.
Okay. And is this because of, is it a strong link in that weapons making capacity?
Yes, is it a craftsman,
Mm-hmm.
ingenuity,
Mm-hmm.
weaponry? Yes,
Okay.
of course. Yes, that is exactly that's where Hephaestus comes from.
Right. Right.
So the Greeks, right,
Mm-hmm.
renamed Ptah Hephaestus. Ganu is the representation of African Ptah.
Right.
So it is, yeah,
Right.
exactly. Mhm.
Right. Because again, conceptually, they were representing the same type of ideas. I mean, as kind of forces of nature when they talk about Ogun and you talk about Ptah, right? And
Correct.
and again, you know, we do remember that the earliest civilizations, period, were along the Nile Valley River, and those civilizations, those people branched out into other areas of even Africa. So they were spreading out, right? Like ultimately, people kind of generated from here. We see it most clearly when we talk about the Dogon, because we know that the Dogon says this is where he came. There was obviously, you know, always invasions and people were displaced. They went to the western side of Africa. So it seems like there's a little more connection between what we see in North Africa and West Africa in terms of their beliefs.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
That was
So
yeah, that was a very important fact there.
yes,
Yeah.
on point.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. We'll get more into exploring that because, like I said, I've been looking at some of their mythologies and their platform. I believe it's Ifa relates very closely to Ma'at, right? It's about having that balance with the world. These forces, when you talk like Oshan, who was Ocean, who was again, like you're going back to the same type of forces that you saw in North Africa. Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. You had some